Hello, everyone. There are so many different professions in this world which help a person grow and discover the best of their abilities. One such profession is what Miss Nalini does. So, welcome, ma'am. Miss Nalini is a parent coach and a child psychology educator, and I am so excited to have you on board. First of all, how are
Thank you
you,
so
ma'am, and how's everything going on for you?
thank you so much, Hiba, for having me in this expert session. I'm so happy to connect with Icy Tales. Everything is going good. I hope everything is fine with you as well.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for asking. So, without any more discussions, let's get started with this interview. So, my first question is a very basic question. Since many of us, including me, are not aware of what exactly a parent coach is, so can you tell us what is parent coaching and what does a parent coach do?
Sure. So parent coaching is something that is very, very new to our country. It has been there in the Western countries, and people do seek help from parent coaches even before. But right now in India, it is very new topic. So how you have a coach or an educator for everything, right from your studies, from school, college, and for all your exams, everything, you have an educator who helps you with giving you knowledge about that particular skill or
Mhm.
study. But parenting is also a skill. So
Yes.
parenting is something that we are, directly jump into the phase, whether we want it or not, whether we expect all the chaos that is going to be there in the parenting or not. But we are unpreparedly getting into the phase of parenting once a child is delivered. So most of the times what happens is people, when they are having a baby, everybody around them used to tell, once the baby is delivered, you will be all set, everything is going to be fine with you. And then people have this mindset, right? So even including me. So when I delivered my baby, I was thinking, oh, everything is done, thank God, I'm so safe, my baby is safe, that's all. I'm just gonna be with like what however I was before. But unfortunately it is not going to be the same anymore. You are not going to get the life back which you already were having. Okay, so we are entering into a world for which we are completely unaware. Just imagine you are suddenly you are taken and you are put up in a alien planet. How you will survive, right? So every time when your child is crying, when your child is needing something, you won't know what to do, how to react, and how we actually react is based on the experiences that we have,
Right.
how we were parented, how our parents treated us.
Mhm.
So on that basis is what we will also react to the child. But right now what's happening is most of the parents is actually realizing that the way we were parented is not working anymore, because sometimes on the back of our mind we always feel like it could have been better, we
Yes.
could have been more gentle with my parents, could have been more gentle with me. My parents love me, of course I know it, but my parents never showed it to me. My parents sacrificed their life for me, but always I have felt like I was not completely attached to them. So whenever I have a problem, only a few people were able to go and discuss that with their parents, right? Because of the boundaries, because of the punishments, because of the threats. All our parents love us, all our parents sacrifice so much for us, but unfortunately they did not show it up that way. And we as parents right now, when we are looking at our child, we want to see, okay, is there any better way to connect with the child? And
Mhm.
also every day parenting is a struggle, whether even I am a parent coach, but even I am struggling every day with my toddler, because parenting is something that is a skill that will need a process, that is a process that will need more time to to learn about yourself, to learn about the other person, to learn about the family also. So parent coaching is something that will help you with the tools, ideas, and even we even provide scripts on how you can actually talk to your toddler or talk to your preschooler or a kid, so that your child will sit and listen to you.
Right.
And it is not like obeying you, but
Mhm.
at least they will sit and listen to you, and they will come and share things with you.
Right.
Okay, so just like a friendly relationship with your child and all that. So parent coach is someone who actually helps parents to be mindful of their own thoughts, because we always, we used to complain about the babies more,
Mhm.
and we forget how we are reacting to that situation, how we are responding to the child and all of that. We usually forget that. But when it comes to parenting, adults play a very important role in the whole environment. So how the adult is behaving or how the adult is reacting, the same way is being observed by the child, and the child is also going to do the same. So parent coaches help parents to be, to resolve their parenting issues with their children. Most of the parents will be having, I am always yelling with my child.
Mhm.
I think I could have got a better clarity on how I can be, so that my house is like peaceful.
Mhm.
So those things the parent coach will do. And according to me, parent coaching is not just telling you what to do, how to do,
Mhm.
just not giving you, you have to do all this to be a better. No, nobody is a better parent. Nobody is a perfect parent. Everybody is learning. Everybody is growing every day, and that is what is going to be. And the adapting mindset, right? That is very, very important, especially in parenting. Not just in parenting. Right now, for the 21st century, everybody should have this to survive, right? So parent coaching is not just giving you, you have to do all of this and then you are set. No, it is not like that. So every parent is different, every child is different, every family is different, so everything is different. So we have to take in consideration of all of this, and I will help you to, put the strategies in a way that you can. I can handle things differently. I might be having a triggers on something else. You might be having triggers on something else. You might like this more. You might like that more. So whatever you are already parenting, how you can improve it based on how you are, based on keeping yourself in the field, we will be giving you strategies and coping up and tips to actually handle the situations better, to have a peaceful situations at home. So that is what parent coach actually does.
I think it was something very new for me because I didn't know this is there. So, a great knowledge on a Sunday morning for me. Thank you for that. Moving on to my next question, you also stated that you are a child psychology educator. So, talk to us about that and why did you choose to be one?
Sure. So psychology is something that always been there of my interest due even from my school days. I wanted to be a psychologist, but I couldn't due to the cliche engineering, math, arts, those kind of things, right? So we were not allowed to pursue
Mm.
what we actually wanted. But from my innate sense, like I used to be able to read people's mind to some extent. I can actually feel intuitively. I can survive with my intuition itself. I know that this is wrong, this is something for me, this is not something for me, those kind of things. So I always used to be having a craze about the psychology. I used to read a lot of facts psychology related stuff. And then when my child was born, when I was looking at her, the way she responds to me, even as an infant, even as a 2 day old to 3 day old, the way she responded to each of my words actually surprised me, because I was actually believing that a small baby cannot understand anything.
Mhm.
Only when the child is able to speak up, that is when the child can understand. This is what I was thinking before my child was born. But when my baby was born, I could see every single day, the moment I talk to her, the moment I sing to her, I can grab her attention, and
Mhm.
she used to nod, she used to even sound giving the foos and cars with respect to whatever I'm singing. So I was very fascinated looking at that.
Mhm.
Okay, and my child was born in pandemic March 2020, when the whole world was but unexpected has
Yeah.
happened, right? So I was also on my maternity leave. Earlier, I was working as a software professional, so I was on a maternity leave, and of course, looking at my child's response to each of the things that we are doing. Every time when I narrate something to her, whatever I did the
Mhm.
whole day, she used to sit and listen to it like she's understanding everything. So that is when I actually searched. I mean, I was looking at the Google to understand about babies' brains, and I was so fascinated to know that the adult brain is completely different from the baby's brain. So the baby, how they are surviving in this world, how they are born with some survival reflexes, all of that actually fascinated me, and the brain development part. So when you see the baby, right, the baby's brain is fast growing. So the baby's brain starts developing right from the day they are conceived in our womb, right? When you are conceived, that is
Mhm.
when your baby's brain is also started to develop, I mean, grow. And after they are born, the brain is still not developed. Until 6 years of age, the brain still keeps developing. Even during the adults, the brain is able to adapt to changes. But right in the early childhood, from 0 to 6 years, is when the baby's brain development happens at a very rapid rate.
Mhm.
So it keeps observing, it keeps adapting very easily, it keeps observing all the environment, that is whatever is happening in their environment, they can observe in within seconds. For adults, it might be very difficult to notice everything because we are so used to this.
Mhm.
But the child is very, very curious. They are actually, their brain is like a sponge. They will attract everything. They will know what is
Mhm.
happening here, how people are reacting, how people are, so because they want to know this to survive in this world, because they are very new to this world. They want to understand the other person's communication, other people, how they react, so that they will also be able to adapt to it. Just the same way how you are landed in an alien planet, you have to observe other aliens to know how they communicate, how they react, how their body languages is, all that. The same way the child is also growing. So
Yeah.
that actually fascinated me, and that lead me to child psychology course. So I completed my child psychology course in 2020, and in that we used to learn about the child's development age wise and stage wise. So child psychology is until your child turns adolescent, like 12 years, 0 to 12 years. So age wise, the child's physical development, cognitive development, social emotional skills that the child develops at each stage of life, it all
Mhm.
differs. And so that actually helped me a lot in understanding my child in their perspective, rather than having my own perspective about how a child will be. So that gave me a clear picture on, oh yeah, so my child is actually having all of this, she is growing, and I started looking at her as an individual. So instead of looking at her as my child, I started looking at her as an individual, so that whatever respect, whatever gratitude, whatever love that I wanted me to have, I
Mhm.
showed that to her. So child psychology is something that actually helped me to become a better parent. The way I parent right now, maybe because of the because I understood the child's psychology, and also I did that because I wanted to understand her better. But then I started, sharing a lot of things about that,
Mhm.
and I also was landed to right brain education while all this happening. And right brain education is something that is kind of a natural way of
Mhm.
learning. A child is very, very curious, and how parents can support their learning curiosity is all about right brain education. And I have been practicing it with her right from her infancy. It's been 2 years since we are in the right brain education journey, and it's already I can see visible results now itself, and I can't wait for her to grow and show up. And being a right brain practitioner, I got a lot of requests from people to explain how to do right brain education. So I have educated more than 2,000 parents now in right brain education, and that leads to early childhood education certification, and
Mhm.
the parenting coach. Everything is came after my child psychology course.
It's very nice to see that journey. And since you spoke so much about children, what skills do you think children lack these days and how should they work on
So basically, I wouldn't mind saying that lacking, but yeah, there are two things that I consider as very important for, especially for this generation
it?
and future generation children. The number one is critical thinking. So when we were all growing up, we were all like told, this is what this is all about. This is going to be like this. This is how you will be doing this. Things like this. So
Mm.
we had a templates which were set by somebody else, which we followed, literally followed.
Okay.
But then right now, when we are adults, we can
Mhm.
see a lot of changes happening in the world.
Yeah.
Some of us are able to adapt to the changes, learn new things. Even at 60 years, age 60, people are adapting and improvising their life. But there are few people who are just 15 years, 16 years, who are unable to actually think or adapt to the new changes that is happening. So when you have the critical thinking in place in your mind, you will be able to overcome any situation. And especially when looking at the future, you can't actually say your future is going to be like this. We
Mhm.
can't predict it at all. 2020 is a great example. Nobody predicted this. Nobody expected the way each of our lives have turned. But something has been happened. People who have survived is all those who were the critical thinkers, right? People who were not able to adapt to the new lifestyle, people who were not able to still laying back. Okay,
Mhm.
so
Yeah.
critical thinking is something that you can let your child start implementing right from childhood by asking open-ended questions, not giving all the answers on their plate right away, but you can actually help them to think why it is like this. Why
Mhm.
do you feel this is happening? What do you think the other person's perspective will be? So these kind of questions will actually kindle their curiosity, and they will be able to think beyond what just they see. So when we were all doing school and college, we were all cramming the textbooks, and we all wrote our exams.
Right.
Some of us might be, understood the in depth, but yeah, uh, cramming was the most part. But right now, even in schools, they don't actually encourage cramming. They want children to
Yeah.
understand it and they will be able to apply it whatever they have studied. So critical thinking is something that is very, very, fundamental, kind of
Mhm.
fundamental for the future, for their future. And the second one is emotional intelligence. This is also something that is lacking for adults as well. Right now, for this generation people, not everybody is having the emotional intelligence at all. Emotional intelligence is something that you will be able to analyze and identify your emotions. Okay, so you will be able to identify your emotions. Once you are able to identify your emotions, you will be able to uh, cope cope up better. When you know that you are angry, when you know that you are frustrated, when you know that you are sad, if you are able to identify that, you will be able to handle it better. But most of the times what happened in our early childhood is that we were not encouraged to show our emotions as it was. Our happy reactions, our when we were so happy, when we were enjoying, it was all welcome so happily. But when we were sad, when we were angry, when we were crying, it was not allowed to do it freely. Everybody was saying, oh, it's okay, you can just
Mhm.
move on, you can, it's okay.
Right.
But no, it's not okay unless until you release it out of you. It is not okay. It is just adding up to the stress pile, and it is going to impact you in every way, physically, mentally, in all other works that you do. Everything is going to be impacted. So emotional intelligence is something that every child has to know. And this is something, even as a parent coach, I I educate parents about how they can actually find their triggers and handle it very well, so that the child will also be able to observe it. And there are also some strategies which we can help teach the child to identify and label their emotions
Yeah.
and to cope up with it. So emotional intelligence is something that is also, very fundamental and critical for everybody to know.
I like how you spoke so much about adapting to changes, because that brings me to my next question. Grown-ups are, some of them are not they don't quickly adapt to changes. So how exactly do you motivate them to upgrade their skills?
So yes, it's natural. So I was telling you, right? The children has the brain which can easily adapt to changes, but adults cannot. Because one thing I always say that to learn something is very easy. Okay, when you're very fresh to something,
Yeah.
you are exposed to an information, you learn it. It's very easy. But to unlearn something that you have already learned is very, very tough. Very, very tough. You were told about something, you know that this is right, and if something else is coming up and saying there is a better way to do it, so people don't have the immediate, they will not be able to reflect to the new changes immediately, because this is already there in their mind, which is actually
Mhm.
blocking their way of thinking itself. So once they are able open up it, so they will be able to receive whatever that is coming in their way. And it's like, adapting to new changes is quite difficult with parents. Right now, when we just look at the people in the world, we can say that 99% of parents not even aware of a new parenting style, gentle, respectful
Mhm.
parenting style. All that they know is how they were parented. That is like a generation of cycles that has been going up. Only a 1% of people is actually speaking up, seeking for a solution, thinking that there might be a better way. There should be a better way. Okay, I hope in another 10 years things might change. I hope, hopefully, things might change. But right now, this is the situation. Not many people even know that there is something that you can actually respectfully talk to your child, so that your child will listen to you. No, people used to, hit, yell, spank the child to get whatever, because that is what they know. Okay, so for right now, me as an educator, I can only educate people in social media, thankfully, thanks to Instagram and YouTube, where I can actually speak about this, so that I spread awareness about this is a way you can handle. This is all. There is also another way that you can handle when your child is in a tantrum, when your child is actually crying a lot, asking for something. You There are multiple ways how you can actually handle that situation. Most of the parents will do like, don't cry, now is not the time, you're not going to get, don't cry, just go away. Those kind of actions that can be easily done by a parent, but I show a different way how you can actually talk to your child. You can lean to your child's level, you
Mhm.
can bend down and look at your child's eye to eye and tell, oh, it's so sad, you are very upset, you're very disappointed. When you validate their feelings, okay, so when you validate their feelings, they will know that they are being heard. So all of us, even as adults, when we are very stressful, when we are about to cry, we need someone to listen to us. We don't
Yeah.
need someone to advise us, we don't need someone to give us all the solutions. Not that is required. Only if there is someone who is able to listen to me, that itself is okay, at least for one some part. So similarly, a child also needs to be heard. So
Mhm.
when I can validate the child's feelings, the child is feeling, oh yeah, mommy is hearing me. So then the child will listen to what I'm actually trying to say. But we also have hold our boundaries. We don't give everything that the child wants. If it might be harmful for the baby, it is not required. We hold the boundaries, but in a very empathetic way. We respect the child, we respect their feelings. We say it's okay to be upset, but tomorrow we will be seeing it. Right now, we can do something else. We will provide them choices. We will hold the boundaries very firmly. So this is something that I can do. I show this up in my social media account, so that people who are not aware about this, looking at this, they will know, oh, is this a way I can handle? Maybe I can try it with my child. I have experiences like that where I used to share something and parents used to try that in their home, and they find, oh, it's working, it's
Mhm.
actually working. Maybe not at the first time, but at the second time or third time, they think that it's working, and then they are exploring more about it. uh, Google is there, everybody can
Mhm.
search, everybody can read the articles. That thankfully a lot of psychologists and research papers have been in Google articles. There are a lot of articles which talk about gentle parenting, respectful parenting, and responsive parenting. People are actually looking at it. So I'm so happy that people are actually having that mindset to change, to adapt to this. So right now, we at least, getting that itself is quite difficult. From people having a firm mindset that no, this is how I will parent kind of mindset, to oh, there is something else there. Let me explore it. So once you start explore, automatically people will actually, try to implement it, because I strongly believe that punishments or threats or yelling at the child would never work. Okay, at one point the parents will actually get
Mhm.
tired of it, and maybe they will try to implement this. But before they implement all of this, they have to have their own self regulation and all that. So it's quite tough, but I hope it will change, and I'm so happy that I am being a 1% who is making that change.
I really like the optimistic approach that you're having towards things, and I really hope that things really do see a change. But speaking of optimism, can you tell us about the daily challenges that you face in your work life?
Okay, so it's quite difficult. Earlier, I used to be a software engineer. I used to have a side hustle as well. But after my child was born, it was quite difficult for me to handle all of them together. Recently, in December 2020, I quit my job to follow my passion towards parenting and the things which I do. And I quit my software engineering job, and I had a lot of visions to do in my life. But then unexpected changes happened, and I had to move from India to Dubai. So when I moved in here, I had literally no help. I have to, I have to do all my household chores and all, taking care of a toddler all the time. So it's quite difficult to manage, balance the work and life. But yeah, when you have something, when you're so much passionate about something, you will definitely find ways to do it. This is what I always believe. So when I was in India, I used to work late nights. Okay, so I used to work late nights to do whatever I want. I used to work early mornings, but here I can't do that because I'm myself getting tired. So I am actually having a time where I can work. I work focusedly on that. I should also give the credits to my partner who is doing equal parenting instead of just thinking that parenting is only a mom's job. Thankfully, I got a partner who is also equally parenting with me, so I can also give them some space, so the daughter and father can have their own time while I work. So so I have to make some schedule changes. I used to have my meetings and whatever that is happening with my work schedules, I used to schedule it accordingly when the child is sleeping or when my husband is there to take care of her. So I used to manage it that way. Maybe once after my child goes to school or something, I will be getting more time to work on my business. But right now, whatever time I have is like per day, 1 hour maximum to work focusedly. And then, yeah, that is how I balancing my work and life right now.
Speaking of all your busy schedules and everything, I also noticed that you multitask a lot. Since you spoke about YouTube, you are a speaker and you're doing so many things simultaneously. So, how do you manage all these different lifestyles and still excel at everything?
So basically, I used to be a multitasker from the school times. Usually, people used to tell me, "Nalini, you're multitasking so well," and I was so proud of it. Also, until now, I was very proud. Oh, I can multitask. And then recently, I was thinking like maybe I should not multitask and I should focus on only one thing. But I can't. It is just there in my blood itself. I cannot do only one thing. I want to. I just explore things out of my comfort zone. So I've been like that. It is not something that I've taken up right only now. No, it is been there from my childhood. I used to do a lot of things together, like even for my public exams, 10th board exams, 10th and 12th, I used to listen to songs while I study. So that's how I can easily cram it. So my mom used to scold me like anything, like you are listening songs and you are studying. It is my way of doing something, but I couldn't because when I'm listening to A.R. Rahman songs and when I'm studying, I was so easy. It was so easy for me. Okay, so I adapted that way. So I used to be a multitasker. And when it comes to YouTube, Instagram, so those are the platforms where I can actually speak out. Okay, so 2020 is I'm a person who loves to be with good company, but pandemic I was not able to have any good company to talk with. And also, once your child is born, you are entering into a world where you will feel all are there but still feel lonely. So I wanted to have something for me. So that is when I started my YouTube channel and Instagram, where I actually share my experiences, share my life, day-to-day life parenting related ones. And I was also getting a lot of people communicating through with me through that platform, so which is actually a motivation for me. And regarding my other works, right, I used to schedule it according to my mental peace. I don't stress up so much by taking up everything. I used to have a timing for everything. I used to plan it. I'm not a very strict planner. I don't do that, but I'm trying to do it. So I used to have my right brain education coaching once in 3 months, so I can focus completely on that. So all my batch students who enroll to my right brain education courses will be there with me for the months for that journey. I will guide them whenever required. And then parent coaching is something different. I have group coaching calls, and also I have one-to-one coaching. So
Oh,
one-to-one consultations I will take up only when I am in a very good peak times,
mhm.
right? So because I need to deal with someone else's life, so that is kind of more stressful for them, and I need to be in a proper state of mind to help them with things that they actually need. So I take up one-to-one consultations very, very minimal, because it is not just a 1 or 2 hour sessions. We can't do it. We need some time for to explore their family, their parenting style, how they have been parenting, what are the issues they have, what we can do about it. So all of this needs a vigorous research. So
Right.
every family we need to do a complete research. So that way I will take very, very minimal. So I used to have something which don't kill my mental peace. So that is what I do have a timing for events. I get a lot of requests for events, to talk in events, for parenting events. Even next week we have one.
Mhm.
So I used to have a time, we used to communicate before itself, and I used to fix it, looking at my family schedule. And of course, connecting with my family is something that is very important for me. So I don't work completely on weekends. I used to spend quality time with them as well. So having a work life balance is all about balancing everything the way you like, the way which you do, which don't stress you out. So
Oh,
that is something that I personally believe in.
very nice to know that, ma'am. And since in all my interviews, I do this last question, which is like a fun part. So for you, I had planned, since you work with parents and children, if you had the choice to choose to work for only one, which would it be and why?
Okay. So it's quite so yeah, I would definitely choose parents right now, because I've been working with parents for the past 2 years, and I really love working with parents. I used to think that working with children would be more fun, and right now I'm working with my child, and that itself is kind of good for me. So yeah, to when I'm working with parents, right? When I'm working with parents, I'm getting to know a lot of different perspectives, a lot of different lifestyles, so how an adult is actually thinking, and I can actually see the changes that is happening because of my work, the work that I'm doing. So I love that. When I am offering an advice, I am offering an piece of information that is giving them a whole new perspective. And I get a lot of DMs just by looking at my story, or just by looking at my reel or post. I
Mhm.
used to get a lot of DMs from parents saying that, Nalini, I was doing this before, but after this, I actually realized that I cannot do that, and I can do it in a different way. And I am actually learning with you. So that is actually giving me happiness. Okay. So children are always very easy to handle. That is what I believe in. Children are very easy to handle when the adult is handling them well. But as we said, the adapting nature is not there for adults. It's very minimal for the adults. So when I'm working with them, and when they are having their changes in their life, I can feel that I am impacting their life, and that is giving me happiness right now. Maybe in future I might be thinking about working with kids, but right now I love working with parents.
Very nice to know your answer that you are focused on one and you would go for that, even though you like the other side. So, this brings us to the end of the interview. I hope you had a
Thank
great
you.
time because I really
Thank you,
learned a lot
Hiba.
this session because it was something I really didn't have any idea about. So, as I was researching and doing my homework, I learned a lot of things. And you also said many positive things. So, I will definitely carry them forward in my future. Thank you so much for doing this with us, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Hiba.